Natural Beauties. Thank you for clicking on this video. Today we're going to discuss our February financial goals. So my goals were to pretty much do a no buy. I didn't want to buy anything unexpected, anything unnecessary, and I wanted to stay within my budget. Now, unfortunately, on February 3rd, my dryer went out, and so I tried all kinds of stuff, and it had just quit working. I had had it for a very long time. That's really bad grammar, right? I'd had it for a very long time, so I wasn't surprised that it went out. But luckily, I did have an emergency fund that I was able to pull from to buy a new dryer. But sometimes when you have an emergency fund and the number that you have before and after you use a large amount of money from that account, it's just kind of a gut punch sometimes. But I'm very grateful that I did have an emergency fund to go ahead and purchase a new dryer and pretty much not skip a beat. Now, I did use my Quicksilver card, and that offers 1.5% cash back on all purchases. And because I do have Capital One, they have like a shopping extension, and you can go through and they will offer additional cash back or an additional percentage back if you shop using their link. And so I found one that had 2% cash back, not a lot, not a very high percentage, but you know, at the end of the day, every dollar counts. So after buying the dryer, I also bought some filters for my refrigerator. So I bought the dryer, 6 filters plus setup, delivery, haul away, all that stuff. And I ended up saving 1.5% cash back in addition to 2% cash back because of the Capital One shopping extension. But they didn't offer reward points on the delivery or the setup, that kind of stuff. So the 2% cash back will be deposited directly into my Capital One account, and the 1.5% cash back will show up on my Quicksilver card, and then I can just redeem that how I want, actual cash or like travel points. I usually just put it towards the purchase. So yeah, so that kind of hurt because I had to buy a new dryer, guys. Now, because I did spend that unexpected money there, I did make it a new goal for me to pretty much eat whatever I had in the house. Of course, I had my grocery budget, so I was going to allow myself to buy stuff if I needed, but I really pulled a lot of stuff out of my cupboard and my freezer, and I ate a lot of that stuff. I am going to post some videos of the stuff that I pulled out and some of the meals that I made, so if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Now, on the 8th, I did go to Costco, but I have my household items that are pulled from or budgeted alongside my groceries. So I spent $114.81, and $31.46 of that was for my son, and it was just stuff for like for him to take to work, you know. So like that, you know, he has his own little lunch and snacks and coffee and stuff like that. But $114.81 at Costco. That included like laundry detergent, Gain, cat food, stuff like that. And then, like I said, that $31.46 for my son. On that same visit to Costco, I also put $22.28 worth of gas. And then I had a 9-day no spending streak there. So from February 9th to the 18th, I didn't spend any money at all. And then on the 19th, I helped my mom with some groceries. I spent about $37 there, and that was pretty much towards the end of the month in February. So I was like, you know, I still have some grocery money left, so let me go ahead and help my mom out with some groceries. And then on the 21st, my laptop charger, it kind of like, it stopped working pretty much. Like you could see some of the exposed wires. And so I did try and tape it, and it did work for a while, but then it just stopped working. And when I moved the wires, it kind of like sparked, and I saw like actual like sparks. So I was like, okay, we need a new charger. So on the 21st, I spent $11.21 on a laptop charger from Amazon. And I also spent about $26 for my pets. And I bought them new toys because their toys were kind of ratchet and raggedy. So I got them some new toys. And then on the 23rd, I did have an additional $10 pulled from my account for my toll fees. Now, I do have that budgeted, and that left me with an additional $5 in the toll road account, but it came out on the 23rd. And then at the very end of the month, since I had done fairly well eating what I had in the house, I went ahead and I went to two small grocery stores. One is called La Panza Feliz. And I mean, it's not like a Walmart or a Kroger or any big brand store. So that helps me to support a local small owned businesses. And when I use my Discover card at these smaller grocery stores, I get 5% cash back. So on the 28th, I spent approximately $12 at La Panza Feliz. And then I also went to this local, it's called Imtiaz. It's an Imtiaz grocery store, and it's a halal grocery store. They actually have some cattle in the back, and they offer halal meat. And so I love like Middle Eastern Indian food. So I went and I bought so much like spices and like curries and almost like spice packets. Like sometimes let me go grab one. So here's our impromptu halal store haul. These are the spice packets that I was talking about, and I want to say these are like $2.99 a piece, and they actually have like the instructions in the back. And I also bought some paneer because this is one of my favorites. I don't buy naan from there. I just make tortillas. So I got these. This one's open because this is what I'm going to make probably later today. And those make so much. That's one of the toys that I bought for my cats, the $26 that I mentioned earlier in the budget. And so those are the packets that I was talking about. And they're so easy to do. They have instructions on the back. And then so many of the spices, look at how big this is. This is 7 ounces of crushed chili peppers. Look at these giant, gorgeous, like bay leaves. And I just, like, none of these were over $3.99. Some oregano. Oh, and those are like some actual Indian spice because, you know, I have the Indian cookbook that I'm trying to cook my way through. And then they also had, it was probably like a 6 ounce of garlic powder in one of these bags. And I just added it to my already, you know, existing garlic. And then we have, these are my favorite samosas. If you like samosas, try these. These are the Punjabi style, and I just air fry them. They come with a chutney in there. I don't really like the chutney, but those are my favorite samosas. And then this as well. So that was a part of my local mom and pop grocery haul that I made at the end of February because, like I said, I'd done so well eating what I already had in the house. I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and splurge a little bit, and I got the 5% cash back with Discover. So overall, with the exception of the dryer, like just, you know, going kaput at the beginning of the month, I think that February was a really good month for me, financially speaking. I guess because I pulled so much food from my cupboard and my freezer, I did end the month with some leftover grocery money. And usually if I don't spend my entire budget for groceries, I'll just save it and I'll start my grocery budget completely over with my next paycheck. Now, I also had some fun money that was left over, but any leftover fun money, I roll it over to my next budgeted paycheck fun money, you know, because I am pretty strict with myself as far as like spending money. So when it comes to fun money, if I have like 20 bucks left over and my next paycheck budget for fun money is $120, well, I'm going to roll that $20 over and I'm now going to have $140 for fun money. That way I can enjoy myself and I don't feel like I'm missing out or not enjoying myself. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.